spot weld in the workshop with the lead loading.
Welcome back to part 2.
Hey, thank you. All the new panels are on, and the process now is to smooth all this lot out so you've got a perfect, glorious body shape. There's 2 ways of doing that. The way we're going to do it is with lead. It's lead loading, and that means putting solid lead on here and shaping it and filing it to get the perfect shape. That'll then be skim finished if necessary with some plastic filler. But in the kind of bodge world of car restoration, probably what you do is just go straight over this with a whole load of plastic filler, and you end up using great thick pieces of plastic filler like this, which is not the way to do it. We want to do it absolutely properly. And not only can you fill this, but also we can reshape this edge so we get a nice even gap between the bonnet and the panels all the way around. It's a very clever job, a very technical job, so Rory's going to help me. Rory!
This is like a primer for the lead. It helps it bonds to the steel.
Right. So this is just the filed up metal, isn't it? So it's perfectly clean metal, no rust, nothing.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
So that will do. This is a bigger nozzle than we're using for the spot shrinking.
Right.
Because we want a bigger spread of feed. What we have to do is heat this until you see it starts to flow. It actually starts to go silvery now.
Right.
What we do is apply, knock down the lead, put it on in small blocks to start with.
Oh, look at that change, wow. Right. Can I put a bit of that on? Get it? So, just gently waving this over the...
Slight depth pressure on the... You have to watch this piece.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to run away with it.
You can actually just flash it and then push the lead in. That's it, slightly.
And break that off, or that...
Then pull that away, yeah. Let's see if that sticks.
Oh right, just fill it up. Right, so that'll then just slide over without sticking. Yeah? Right. How long did it take you to learn how to do this?
About 6 months.
Really? Oh, God, it happens really quickly. This is actually incredibly difficult. It's a real judgment call as to when it's exactly the right consistency to spread it. But it is amazing to think this would have been done regularly on hand-built cars. And you can imagine all those cars you see for sales, you know, classic, totally restored. I wonder how many have had this kind of effort put into them. And this actually will stick to the metal underneath, so it won't kind of, you know, if you go over a big pothole, it won't just crack off.
No, it won't come off at all. You'll notice when you file it back, it'll leave a smooth edge. What you need to do is spread this also upwards slightly to get that edge. So it goes into this edge.
Right. Real judgment, isn't it? It's a 3-stage process. The first was tinning, preparing the bare metal. The second was loading the lead in. And the third is filing it away. And this bit definitely takes the most effort. So, fellow Smurf,
Yes, sir.
how do you, What's he sniggering for over there, the old bloke in the corner? Thank you. Now, this isn't your average file, is it, presumably? Because it's got to be able to grind away metal.
Very hard, sharp brass. I haven't got it shaped, but it's a good job. But it's ideal for lead.
Now, you were twiddling that. What were you doing?
Yeah, we need to get a slight curve in the blade.
Right, so.
See?
Oh right, okay. So you set that to match what you're trying to get in the body.
We've got a slight sweep there as
Yeah.
it comes round. So you want to keep that going and knock it
now,
out.
Masks. Mask, gloves and grunt. Then is what it takes. Okie dokie.
Here we go. Not too much pressure on the blade, otherwise it tends to rip.
Okie doke. Here we go. Oh, because it cuts you mean a bit. I did say it was hard work, didn't I? See, the problem is the apprentice could only do the rough stuff. He didn't trust me to finish it off like a craftsman. You finished yet, Rory?
Just about there, Mark.
Sorry, mate, but your ice cream's melted.
You enjoy it, Mark. You enjoy it. You've had a hard day.
You're not wrong there at all, mate. You're not wrong at all, no. Very hard. Very hot as well. So, the light fitting. And then we got the rubber. Sit over there as well.
Gasket that sits in. And just push that up. Once that bolts up, nice and tight and
sealed. Oh, that is amazing, isn't it? That is fantastic.
It's there. It's nice and tight. That's it.
Tight in. Fantastic. Must be much more fun working with lead rather than just filling everything with filler anyway. It's a much more craftsman job, isn't it?
And it's more solid.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's obviously not finished though yet. What else have we got to do to it?
Just knock it back with a rough paper.
Right.
Something like 40 grit sandpaper. So that's all we need now.
Well, this is really starting to look fantastic now, I have to say. I'd always heard about lead loading, but never really understood what it meant, but it is a top job. A little bit more to do here, and some more lead loading and finishing off to do elsewhere on the tub. So a good opportunity for you to take a look at another racing classic.
Oh, it's got huge amounts of torque, the engine.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it's superb.
Well, the car has quite a history. It was built for racing and has won the European FIA and the HSCC. It's also been rallied and won the Southern Irish Rally on one occasion.
Now, what sort of specs the engine?
It's 4,800cc. It's a Ford Motorsport block. It develops 375 brake horse.
Is it fuel injected or carburetor?
It's two choke collies that are on it.
Gearbox?
It's a T10. It's a truck gearbox that's on it.
4-speed, 5-speed?
4-speed.
I take it you've altered the suspension in some way. It won't be the standard TVR suspension that's on it.
No, the suspension is very much uprated and it's pure race spec.
So it's a wee bit stiffer, there's not as much roll as you're going through the corners, things like that?
It's virtually solid.
It's a tremendous car. I'm looking forward to going out with you and giving it a good thrashing around the track. I didn't want to be picky, Steve. Should you know of a steering wheel?
That's okay, I've got one here. It's fine to me.
Thanks very much. I knew there was a corner here somewhere.
Yeah, glad you saw it, I can't.
It's the first car I've come out the chicane in, and I put it in the top gear, and it stood still spinning wheels. Just as well I know the circuit.
I think so, it's like pea soup out there.
Don't worry if you can't see much at that side, it's exactly the same at my side. Now I've got to say that's been an interesting drive. Now's the time to mark. Now look at it, what can you say about it? Got a car here with pedigree, a racing pedigree. It's a TVR Griffith with almost 400 brake horsepower.
Well, the last job is to test fit the bright work as part of the metalwork process here to make sure it all fits prior to we start doing the paint job. But I'll tell you what, boy does this body look different now. Not only have we finished all the leading, which means all these joints are superb, but the new panels are just the business. Now, it's hard to remember how bad this car was in terms of bodywork when we brought it back from the blasters. So here's a little reminder. You've got to admit it is a pretty amazing transformation, but then it has taken 8 weeks of near solid work to get the tub looking like this, but it is finished as far as the metalwork's concerned. But of course, a big part of an E-Type Jag is the bonnet. Now fortunately our bonnet was in pretty good nick, apart from a dent there which needs sorting out and also a couple of dents on the underside. We need to crack on with that, but then we can get on to the paint process. So join us next time when the painting begins. The big cat will be back.